I feel the weight you're carrying right now. I see you there, exhausted in ways that sleep can't fix, tired in places that rest can't reach, worn down by a battle that seems to have no end. You've been fighting so long, you've forgotten what peace feels like. You've been carrying so much, you've forgotten what freedom feels like. You've been pushing forward so hard, you've forgotten what it means to simply breathe. And now, you're at that place, that dangerous place, where giving up feels like the only option left, where surrender looks like relief instead of defeat, where you've whispered these words that scare even you. I can't do this anymore. Stop for a moment, right where you are. Don't move, don't plan, don't think about tomorrow, or even the next hour. Just breathe with me. In, slowly. Feel my presence filling your lungs. Out, gently, releasing the tension you've been holding. In, receiving my peace that passes understanding. Out, letting go of the burden you were never meant to carry alone. I need you to hear something that will change everything about this moment of desperation. Something that will transform your I can't into he can. Something that will turn your ending into a new beginning. You are not here by accident. This moment, this breaking point, this place where your strength meets its limit, this is exactly where I do my greatest work. You see, I don't just help the strong get stronger. I specialize in the exhausted. I am drawn to the weary. I am moved by those who have nothing left to give, because that's when they're finally ready to receive everything I have to offer. Your weariness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you've been carrying what only I can carry. Your exhaustion is not evidence of failure. It's proof that you've been fighting battles that only I can win. Your desire to give up is not lack of faith. It's your soul crying out for the rest that only I can provide. Today, I'm not going to tell you to try harder. I'm not going to give you more strategies for strength. I'm not going to pile more expectations on your already overwhelmed heart. Today, I'm going to show you a different way. A way that doesn't require more from you, but offers more to you. A way that doesn't demand your strength, but provides mine. A way that doesn't ask you to carry more, but invites you to carry less. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share will be the lifeline your drowning soul has been desperately seeking. Problem identification, tone minutes. I see exactly where you are, and I understand completely why you want to give up. I see you in the marriage that feels more like a battlefield than a sanctuary. You've tried everything: counseling, prayer, compromise, patience. But nothing changes. The same arguments, the same disappointments, the same feeling of being alone. Even when you're together, you're exhausted from trying to save something that seems determined to die. You've given until you're empty, and you're wondering if it's time to stop fighting for something that may already be over. I see you in the parenting struggle that's breaking your heart daily. The child who won't listen, the teenager who's chosen a destructive path, the adult child who's rejected everything you taught them. You've prayed until you have no words left. You've worried until your body is sick from stress. You've loved until it hurts. And still they're making choices that terrify you. You're tired of being the parent who always worries, always hopes, always hurts. I see you in the financial quicksand that pulls you deeper. No matter how hard you struggle, the bills that multiply faster than your income, the debt that grows despite your sacrifices, The dreams delayed indefinitely because survival takes everything you have. You've cut every corner. You've worked every available hour. You've prayed for breakthrough until your faith feels strained. And still, the numbers don't add up. The pressure doesn't ease. The stress doesn't stop. I see you in the health battle that's stolen your energy and your hope. The chronic pain that colors every moment. The diagnosis that changed everything. The treatments that promise much but deliver little. You've been brave for so long, positive for so long, fighting for so long. But your body is betraying you, and your spirit is wearing thin. You're tired of being the sick one, the one who can't keep up, the one who's always struggling. I see you in the job situation that's crushing your soul. The toxic workplace that steals your joy. The boss who doesn't value you. The career that's going nowhere. The work that feels meaningless. You drag yourself there each day because you need the income. But you're dying inside. You've lost your passion. You've lost your purpose. You've lost yourself in the grind of just getting by. I see you in the ministry burnout that's shaking your faith. You started with such fire, such vision, such hope. But the people you serve have disappointed you. The results you expected haven't materialized. The support you needed hasn't come. You've given everything, and it feels like nothing you do matters. You're questioning your calling. You're doubting your gifts. You're wondering if you heard me wrong. I see you in the caregiving exhaustion that's consuming your life. The aging parent who needs constant attention. The disabled spouse who requires your strength. The special needs child who demands everything you have. You love them, but you're drowning in their needs. You have no time for yourself, no energy for your own dreams, no space for your own healing. You're disappearing into their requirements. I see you in the grief that won't let go, the loss that changed everything, the empty chair that screams their absence, the future that will never be. You've tried to move forward, but every step feels like betrayal. You've tried to heal, but the wound stays fresh. You've tried to hope, but tomorrow feels impossible without them. You're tired of hurting, tired of missing them, tired of living in the shadow of what was. I see you in the addiction battle that's stealing your identity, the substance that promised escape but delivered bondage, the behavior that started as comfort but became compulsion, the shame that grows with each failure. You've tried to quit. You've made promises. You've sought help. But the pull is stronger than your willpower. You're tired of disappointing everyone, including yourself. I see you in the loneliness that echoes in every room, the isolation that no crowd can cure, the disconnection that no social media can bridge. You're surrounded by people, but understood by none. You're busy with activities, but fulfilled by nothing. You're talking constantly, but heard by no one. You're tired of pretending you're okay when you're falling apart inside. But here's what I see that you can't see. I see how much you've endured, how many times you've gotten back up after being knocked down, how many battles you fought when you wanted to retreat, how many days you've showed up when you wanted to hide, how many times you've chosen hope when despair seemed more reasonable. I see the strength you don't think you have, the courage you don't recognize, the faith you think is failing but is actually sustaining you, the love you think is wasted but is actually transforming lives. in ways you can't see. I see the prayers you've prayed in desperation, the tears you've cried in secret, the moments you've whispered my name when you had no other words. Every single one has reached my heart. Every single one has moved my hand. Every single one has mattered more than you know. I see the weight you've been carrying, and I'm here to tell you, it's time to put it down. Not because you're weak, but because I'm strong. Not because you failed, but because I never fail. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally ready to let me take over. Now let me show you what I see when I look at your weariness. Let me reveal the divine purpose hidden in your exhaustion. Your weariness is not your enemy. It's your invitation. An invitation to discover a strength that doesn't come from you, but flows through you. An invitation to experience a peace that doesn't depend on your circumstances, but transcends them. An invitation to find a rest that doesn't require everything to be fixed, but offers refuge in the midst of the storm. You see, I designed you to need me, not as a backup plan when your strength fails, but as your primary source from the very beginning. Your weariness is simply your humanity bumping up against its limitations and discovering that those limitations are actually doorways to my unlimited resources. Throughout Scripture, I consistently chose the weary to do my greatest work. Not because I enjoy watching people struggle, but because weariness creates a humility and dependence that strength often prevents. Look at Moses. When I called him to deliver Israel, he was exhausted from 40 years of desert wandering. His dreams were buried. His confidence was shattered. His strength was gone. But that's exactly when I appeared in the burning bush. His weariness had prepared him for a dependence on me that his earlier strength never could have produced. Consider Elijah. After his great victory on Mount Carmel, he collapsed under a juniper tree and asked to die. "I've had enough," he said. "Take my life." But I didn't rebuke him for his weariness. I fed him. I let him sleep. I whispered to him in his exhaustion. His breaking point became his breakthrough point. Think about David. When he wrote, "I am weary with my groaning. Every night I flood my bed with tears." He wasn't having a crisis of faith. He was having an encounter with reality. And in that place of honest exhaustion, he discovered dimensions of my comfort that strength never reveals. Remember the disciples. After feeding 5,000 people, after walking on water, after witnessing miracle after miracle, they were exhausted. And Jesus said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while." I didn't condemn their weariness. I honored it. I provided for it. I used it to draw them closer to me. Look at Paul, the great apostle who planted churches and wrote scripture. He reached a point where he said, "We were so utterly burdened beyond our strength that we despaired of life itself." But in that place of complete exhaustion, he discovered that my grace is sufficient, that my strength is made perfect in weakness. Do you see the pattern? I don't waste weariness. I use it. I don't despise exhaustion. I transform it. I don't condemn the desire to give up. I meet it with an invitation to receive what you could never produce on your own. Your weariness is not a sign that you're failing me. It's a sign that you're finally ready to let me succeed through you. It's not evidence that you're weak. It's proof that you're human. And humans were designed to find their strength in me. But here's what I need you to understand about divine strength. It doesn't work like human strength. Human strength is about pushing through. Divine strength is about letting go. Human strength is about trying harder. Divine strength is about trusting deeper. Human strength is about self-reliance. Divine strength, is about God dependence. When I said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest," I wasn't offering you a vacation from your problems. I was offering you a transformation of your relationship with them. I was inviting you to discover that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Not because the circumstances change, but because I carry the weight. The rest I offer isn't the absence of activity. It's the presence of peace in the midst of activity. It's not the elimination of challenges. It's the provision of strength equal to every challenge. It's not the promise that life will be easy. It's the assurance that you'll never face anything alone. This is why I allow you to reach the end of your strength, not to punish you, but to position you, not to break you, but to remake you, not to defeat you, but to redirect you toward a power source that never runs dry. Your weariness is actually a gift. It's your flesh crying out for what only your spirit can provide. It's your self-sufficiency, admitting its limitations. It's your independence, acknowledging its need for interdependence with me. In the natural world, rivers don't fight gravity. They flow with it. Trees don't resist the wind. They bend with it. Flowers don't strain to bloom. They simply open to the sun. Your weariness is an invitation to stop fighting the current of my grace and start flowing with it. But here's what I want you to know about my strength. It's not just available to you. It's eager to flow through you. It's not just sufficient for your needs. It's abundant beyond your imagination. It's not just temporary relief. It's eternal supply. My strength doesn't get tired. It doesn't run out. It doesn't depend on your circumstances or your performance. It's not affected by your failures or your fears. It's constant, reliable, inexhaustible. And it's yours. Not because you've earned it, but because you need it. Not because you're strong enough to handle it, but because you're weak enough to receive it. Not because you got it all together, but because you're finally ready to admit that you don't. Let me reveal to you 7 divine truths about finding strength in your weakness. First truth: weakness is not your enemy. It's your opportunity. The world tells you that weakness is something to hide, to overcome, to be ashamed of. But I tell you that weakness is your greatest asset in the kingdom of heaven. It's not something to eliminate. It's something to embrace. Paul discovered this when he pleaded with me to remove his thorn in the flesh. 3 times he asked. 3 times I said no. Not because I didn't care about his pain, but because I had something better than healing. I had strength that would flow through his weakness. My grace is sufficient for you, I told him, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Paul's response: therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Your weakness is not a barrier to my power. It's a conductor for my power. It's not something that limits what I can do through you. It's something that amplifies what I can do through you. Think about electrical circuits. Electricity doesn't flow through insulators. It flows through conductors. Your weakness is not an insulator blocking my power. It's a conductor channeling my power. The more you acknowledge your weakness, the more my strength can flow through you. This is why I choose the foolish things to confound the wise, the weak things to shame the strong, the lowly things to humble the proud, not because I can't use the strong, but because the weak don't get in the way of my glory. When you're strong, people see your strength. When you're weak, they see my strength. When you succeed in your own power, you get the credit. When you succeed in my power, I get the glory. Your weakness is not your disqualification. It's your qualification. It's not your limitation. It's your liberation. It's not your problem. It's your platform. Second truth, my strength is not addition. It's substitution. Many people think divine strength works like human strength. They think I add my strength to theirs. But that's not how it works. My strength doesn't supplement yours. It substitutes for yours. It's not about you becoming stronger. It's about me becoming stronger in you. It's not about you doing more. It's about me doing through you what you could never do alone. Think about it this way. When you plug a lamp into an electrical outlet, the lamp doesn't generate its own electricity and then add the outlet's electricity to it. The lamp stops trying to generate its own power and simply receives power from the source. The moment it's plugged in, it's not lamp power plus electrical power. It's just electrical power flowing through the lamp. That's how my strength works in you. You don't add your effort to mine. You substitute your effort with mine. You don't combine your wisdom with mine. You exchange your wisdom for mine. You don't blend your strength with mine. You replace your strength with mine. This is why Jesus said, apart from me you can do nothing. Not apart from me you can do very little. Nothing. But connected to me, you can do everything I call you to do. Not because you become superhuman, but because you become conduits for the divine. The branch doesn't add its strength to the vine's strength. The branch simply receives life from the vine. The river doesn't add its power to the ocean's power. The river simply flows from the ocean's abundance. Stop trying to be strong enough for your challenges. Start receiving strength from the one who is already strong enough for anything you'll ever face. Third, truth. Rest is not laziness. It's obedience. In a world that glorifies busyness, that rewards exhaustion, that equates worth with productivity, rest feels like rebellion. But in my kingdom, rest is not optional. It's commanded. I didn't suggest a Sabbath. I commanded it. Not because I needed you to stop working, but because you needed to stop trying to be God. Rest is not about your body. It's about your soul. It's not about physical recovery. It's about spiritual reorientation. When you rest, you're declaring that the world can survive without your constant effort. You're acknowledging that I am God, and you are not. You're choosing trust over control, faith over fear, being over doing. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. It's a gift, not a burden. It's provision, not punishment. It's an invitation to experience life as it was meant to be lived, in rhythm with divine grace rather than human striving. But rest is not just about one day a week. It's about a way of life. It's about learning to work from rest instead of working for rest. It's about discovering that your identity is not in your productivity. Your worth is not in your achievements. Your value is not in your performance. Jesus lived this way. He was never in a hurry. He was never anxious. He was never exhausted by his ministry. Why? Because he worked from a place of rest. from a place of connection with the Father, from a place of knowing who He was, beyond what He did. This is the rest I offer you. Not the absence of activity, but the presence of peace in your activity. Not the elimination of responsibility, but the transformation of how you carry responsibility. Not doing nothing, but doing everything from a place of rest. Fourth truth: your burdens were never meant to be carried alone. You've been trying to carry what only I can carry. You've been attempting to solve what only I can solve. You've been working to control what only I can control. And it's killing you. I never intended for you to carry the weight of other people's choices. I never designed you to be responsible for outcomes beyond your influence. I never asked you to fix what only I can fix. When I said, cast all your anxiety on me because I care for you, I wasn't speaking metaphorically. I was giving you a practical instruction. Take the weight you're carrying and literally transfer it to me. Not because I need more to do, but because you need less to carry. Think about a porter carrying luggage. The porter doesn't struggle with the weight because it's not his luggage. He's just transporting it from one place to another. That's what I want to be for you. I want to be your porter, carrying your burdens so you can walk freely. But here's what happens. You give me your burdens, then you take them back. You cast your cares on me, then you pick them up again. You surrender your worries, then you reclaim them. Why? Because you think if you're not worrying, if you're not stressing, if you're not losing sleep, then you don't care enough. But worry is not love. Anxiety is not responsibility. Stress is not commitment. You can care deeply without carrying the weight. You can be responsible without being overwhelmed. You can be committed without being consumed. I'm not asking you to stop caring. I'm asking you to stop carrying. I'm not asking you to be irresponsible. I'm asking you to be responsible, able to respond from a place of peace rather than panic, from a place of trust rather than terror, from a place of rest rather than restlessness. Fifth truth: your strength comes from connection, not effort. You've been trying to generate strength through effort. But strength doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from connecting deeper. It doesn't come from working more. It comes from abiding more. It doesn't come from pushing through. It comes from plugging in. Jesus said, "Abide in me, and I in you." As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. The key word is abide. Not work, not strive, not struggle. Abide. Abiding is not about doing more. It's about being more. It's not about activity. It's about intimacy. It's not about performance. It's about presence. It's not about what you do for me. It's about what I do in you. A branch doesn't try to produce fruit. It simply stays connected to the vine. And fruit happens naturally. A light bulb doesn't try to generate light. It simply maintains connection to the power source. And light happens automatically. Your strength comes from your connection to me. The stronger your connection, the greater your strength. The deeper your abiding, the more abundant your life. The more intimate your relationship with me, the more powerful your impact on the world. This is why I said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened." Not work harder for me, not try more for me, not do better for me. Come to me. Connection before correction, relationship before responsibility, intimacy before activity. Spend time with me, not just asking for things, but enjoying my presence, not just talking, but listening, not just seeking my hand, but seeking my heart, not just wanting what I can do for you, but wanting who I am to you. Sixth truth, your weakness qualifies you for my strength. The enemy wants you to believe that your weakness disqualifies you from my purposes, but the opposite is true. Your weakness qualifies you for my purposes. It doesn't make you less useful. It makes you more usable. I don't use people despite their weaknesses. I use people because of their weaknesses. I don't work around your limitations. I work through your limitations. I don't wait for you to get stronger. I show up in your weakness. Moses had a speech impediment. I used him to be my mouthpiece. David was the youngest and smallest. I used him to defeat giants. Gideon was afraid. I used him to lead armies. Paul had a thorn in his flesh. I used him to plant churches and write scripture. Your weakness is not a bug in my system. It's a feature. It's not a mistake in my design. It's intentional. It's not something I need to fix before I can use you. It's something I use to display my power through you. The world looks for the qualified. I qualify the called. The world seeks the capable. I make the incapable capable. The world wants the strong. I strengthen the weak. Your resume doesn't impress me. Your weakness does. Your credentials don't move me. Your desperation does. Your achievements don't qualify you. Your need does. Stop waiting to be strong enough for my purposes. Start believing that you're weak enough for my power. Stop trying to become qualified. Start accepting that you're already called. Stop working to be worthy. Start receiving the worthiness I've already given you. Seventh truth, giving up on your strength is not giving up. It's growing up. There's a difference between giving up and growing up. Giving up is surrender to defeat. Growing up is surrender to dependence. Giving up is quitting. Growing up is trusting. Giving up is the end of hope. Growing up it is the beginning of faith. When you give up on your own strength, you're not giving up on life. You're giving up on the illusion that you can handle life without me. You're not giving up on your dreams. You're giving up on the pressure to make them happen in your own power. You're not giving up on your calling. You're giving up on the burden of fulfilling it alone. This is spiritual maturity. It's not about becoming stronger. It's about becoming more dependent. It's not about needing less help. It's about accepting more help. It's not about being more capable. It's about being more connected. A child doesn't apologize for needing their parent. They simply receive what their parent provides. A branch doesn't feel guilty for needing the vine. It simply draws life from the vine. A river doesn't feel bad for needing the ocean. It simply flows from the ocean's abundance. You are my child. I am your father. You are my branch. I am your vine. You are my river. I am your ocean. Your dependence on me is not weakness. It's the way I designed a relationship to work. Growing up spiritually means growing down in humility. It means growing deeper in dependence. It means growing stronger in surrender. It means growing more powerful in your admission of powerlessness. Now let me give you 5 practical steps to exchange your weariness for my strength. Step 1. Practice the daily download. Every morning before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, before you start thinking about your to-do list, spend 5 minutes downloading my strength for the day. Lie there with your eyes closed. Take 3 deep breaths. Then pray this prayer. Father, I have no strength for today. I'm empty. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. But you're strong. You are rested. You are more than enough. I unplug from my own efforts and plug into your power. Download your strength into my weakness. Fill my emptiness with your fullness. Replace my anxiety with your peace. I receive your grace for today's challenges. I receive your wisdom for today's decisions. I receive your love for today's relationships. I don't have what it takes, but you do, and you live in me. Therefore, I have everything I need for today. Amen. This isn't just a prayer, it's a power transfer. You're literally exchanging your weakness for my strength. You're downloading divine resources for human needs. You're plugging into a power source that never runs dry. Do this every morning for 30 days. Watch how your days change. Not because your circumstances change, but because your power source changes. Not because you become stronger, but because you become more connected to the one who is already strong. Step 2. Create surrender rituals. Throughout your day, you'll feel the weight of burdens trying to settle back on your shoulders. You'll catch yourself picking up worries you've already given me. You'll notice anxiety creeping back in. When this happens, don't fight it. Surrender it. Create physical gestures that represent spiritual surrender. When you feel overwhelmed, literally lift your hands and say, I give this to you, God. When you feel anxious, physically open your hands and say, I release this burden. When you feel exhausted, sit down and say, I rest in your strength. These aren't just symbolic actions. They're faith actions. They're ways of physically expressing spiritual realities. They're methods of redirecting your focus from your limitations to my limitless resources. Keep a surrender journal. Write down every burden you give me, every worry you release, every fear you surrender. Date each entry. This creates a record of your partnership with me. It reminds you that you're not carrying these things alone. At the end of each week, read through your surrender journal. Notice how many burdens you've released. Thank me for carrying what you couldn't carry. Celebrate the freedom that comes from not having to handle everything yourself. Step 3. Establish energy boundaries. You've been giving your energy to things that drain you and withholding it from things that restore you. It's time to establish boundaries that protect your energy for what matters most. Make a list of energy drains. What activities, people, or situations consistently leave you feeling depleted? What commitments are you maintaining out of guilt rather than calling? What relationships are you investing in that never invest back? What worries are you entertaining that accomplish nothing but exhaustion? Now make a list of energy sources. What activities restore your soul? What relationships fill your tank? What practices reconnect you with me? What environments refresh your spirit? What hobbies bring you joy? What forms of rest actually restore you? Begin saying no to energy drains and yes to energy sources. This isn't selfish, it's stewardship. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. You can't serve others effectively if you're running on empty. Start with one change. Remove one energy drain from your life. Add one energy source to your routine. Notice the difference. Then make another change, and another. Gradually reshape your life around what gives life rather than what takes life. Step 4. Practice the presence pause. When you feel overwhelmed, when the weight of your responsibility feels crushing, when you're tempted to give up, stop and practice the presence pause. Wherever you are, Whatever you're doing, pause. Take 3 deep breaths, then say out loud, God, you are here. You are with me. You are for me. You are in me. I am not alone. I am not abandoned. I am not forgotten. You see me. You know me. You love me. You are working even when I can't see it. You are providing even when I can't feel it. You are strengthening me even when I feel weak. I receive your presence. I rest in your love. I trust in your faithfulness. This pause does 3 things. First, it interrupts the spiral of overwhelming thoughts. Second, it reconnects you with spiritual reality beyond physical circumstances. Third, it reminds you that you're not handling life alone. Set reminders on your phone to practice the presence pause 3 times a day minimum. Morning, afternoon, and evening. More often if needed. This isn't about finding time for God. This is about recognizing that God is already in your time. The presence pause isn't about changing your circumstances. It's about changing your perspective on your circumstances. It's about remembering that you're not alone in whatever you're facing. It's about accessing strength that's already available to you. Step 5. Build your rest rhythm. Rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's not something you do when everything else is finished. It's something you do so everything else can be finished. It's not earned by productivity. It's required for productivity. Design a daily rest rhythm. This includes micro rests throughout your day. 2-minute breathing breaks, 5-minute walks, 10-minute meditation sessions. These aren't wasted time. They're investments in your ability to function effectively. Design a weekly rest rhythm. 1 day each week. Stop. Don't work. Don't worry. Don't strive. Rest. Play. Enjoy. Worship. Connect with me. Connect with people you love. Do things that restore your soul rather than drain your energy. Design a monthly rest rhythm. 1 day each month. Do something that brings you joy. Take a mini retreat. Visit a place that refreshes you. Engage in a hobby you love. Spend time in nature. Read a book that inspires you. Have a conversation that energizes you. Design a seasonal rest rhythm. 4 times a year. Take extended time for rest and reflection. Evaluate your life. Yes, celebrate your progress. Adjust your course. Reconnect with your purpose. Renew your vision. Restore your hope. Rest is not about doing nothing. It's about doing what restores you. It's not about being lazy. It's about being wise. It's not about avoiding responsibility. It's about approaching responsibility from a place of restoration rather than depletion. Now, let's seal these truths in your heart through prayer. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Place 1 hand on your heart and 1 hand on your stomach. Feel your breath. Feel your heartbeat. Feel my presence surrounding you. Now repeat these words with me, making them your own declaration. Heavenly Father, I come to you weary and burdened. I admit that I've been trying to carry what only you can carry. I confess that I've been working in my own strength instead of resting in yours. I acknowledge that my weakness is not my enemy, but my invitation to experience your power. Today I choose to stop striving and start abiding. I choose to stop pushing and start receiving. I choose to stop carrying and start casting my cares on you. I surrender my need to be strong enough for my challenges. I receive your strength that is made perfect in my weakness. I surrender my need to have all the answers. I receive your wisdom that guides me step by step. I surrender my need to control outcomes. I receive your peace that passes understanding. I am not giving up on life. I am giving up on handling life alone. I am not quitting. I am trusting. I am not defeated. I am dependent. And in my dependence, I find your strength. In my weakness, I discover your power. In my emptiness, I receive your fullness. I will not give up. I will give over. I will not quit. I will rest. I will not surrender to defeat. I will surrender to your love. For you are my strength when I am weak. You are my hope when I despair. You are my rest when I am weary. In Jesus' name, Amen. Now, receive this blessing over your weary soul. May the God of all strength visit your weakness with divine power. May every tired place in your soul be refreshed by living water. May every burden you carry be lifted by nail-scarred hands. May every step you take be empowered by grace. May your weakness become the stage where God's strength performs. May your weariness become the doorway to divine rest. May your desire to give up become the decision to give over. You are loved beyond measure. You are held beyond your ability to hold on. You are strengthened beyond your capacity to be strong. Rest now. Trust now. Receive now. My precious weary child, we've journeyed together through your exhaustion today. We've acknowledged your weariness without shame. We've discovered divine strength in human weakness. We've learned that giving up on your strength is not giving up, it's growing up. But this is not the end of our conversation. This is the beginning of a new way of living, a way that flows from rest instead of rushing toward it, a way that draws from divine strength instead of depleting human resources, a way that abides in my presence instead of striving for my approval. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up to the same circumstances that exhausted you today, but you won't wake up to them alone. You'll wake up connected to a power source that never runs dry. You'll wake up plugged into a strength that never fails. You'll wake up held by a love that never lets go. Some days will still be hard. Some moments you'll still feel overwhelmed. Some seasons you'll still want to give up. When those times come, remember today. Remember that your weakness is not your disqualification. It's your invitation. Remember that your weariness is not your enemy. It's your opportunity. Remember that your desire to give up is not failure. It's your soul crying out for what only I can provide. You don't have to be strong enough for your life. You just have to be connected enough to the one who is strong enough for anything. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to know the one who is the answer. You don't have to carry all the weight. You just have to cast all your cares on the one who cares for you. I am not asking you to try harder. I am inviting you to trust deeper. I am not demanding more effort. I am offering more grace. I am not requiring greater strength. I am providing divine strength that works best in human weakness. Years from now, you'll look back on this season of weariness with gratitude. Not because the exhaustion was pleasant, but because it led you to a strength you never knew was available. Not because the burden was light, but because you learned to let me carry it. Not because the path was easy, but because you discovered you were never walking it alone. But you don't have to wait years to experience my strength. It's available right now, in this moment, in your weakness, in your weariness, in your desire to give up. My strength is already flowing toward you, ready to flow through you, eager to be your source when your resources run out. You are not alone in your exhaustion. You never were. You never will be. I am here. I am strong. I am willing. I am able. And I am yours. Come back tomorrow. I have more to show you about finding strength in surrender. Until then, rest in this truth. Your weakness is my opportunity. Your weariness is my invitation. Your desire to give up is your soul's cry for what only I can provide. And I always answer that cry with more than enough. Go in peace, beloved. Go in strength. Go in the confidence that you are held by hands that never grow weary, loved by a heart that never grows tired, strengthened by a power that never runs out. I love you. I am with you. I am for you. I am in you. And that is enough.